I was invited to the YTFA podcast, and let's talk about a few things that I want to clear up or explain, and a few notes, because some things can seem a bit weird in the final episode.
You see, guys, what I have learned recently is we all ramble, we say random bullshit, and we're barely comprehensible.
I know I am late to making this video, but I just want to explain a few things and give a bit of background context and even provide a few examples that I couldn't do on the podcast because I didn't know what they would put in and what they would edit in, etc. So here we are. I am not going to talk about the meme segment and the question answer, just about the main episode where I talk about voice acting to keep this relatively short. Welcome one and all to the YTFA podcast, where we discuss current events, give advice, and review the videos you send in to us. Without further ado, I'm Followup Fakuro, the guest of today's podcast. And I was invited by the three hosts, Lord Pyro, Downcast Spark, and Parnell Animation.
Yo, he kind of.
Without further ado, welcome to the family.
You kind of got showed up, James.
The fact that I did the intro simply stemmed from a joke that I made with me saying, "Why don't you let me try to make the intro?" After Pyro fumbled it like 3 times before doing it successfully. Thus also, I think, Spark's comment on Pyro being shown up at his own show. I mean, it was supposed to be a joke. I didn't expect it to be the actual intro to the podcast. I am very honored that I was. I feel very honored. If they want, they can ask me to record a proper clip so they can play it at the start of every singular episode. The only reason why I talked so fast and said the intro that fast is because I didn't have a script for it, and thus I talked fast so A, don't fumble over my words, B, stay in the flow of speaking even if I'm interrupted, and C, hopefully don't forget things, which I did end up doing by forgetting the welcome to the family. About the voice acting part, yes, I did study it for a bit. I have learned from German voice actors because I went to a German media university, and I learned from Christopher Gross and Sabine von Rosenberg-Lipinski specifically. Yet after like half a year, maybe a bit longer, thinking that they would show more visually on the podcast for people that watch it on YouTube, I offered them to send them anything that they would wish to show that they needed from me, from voice acting or anything that I talked about, as I would have found it interesting to put up images of what my mentors worked on or things that I talk about in general. Gross and Lipinsky are both amazing voice actors / audiobook readers, and their work is absolutely amazing. And they were great teachers as well, so here are all the projects that they worked on. Check them out. I will even link their websites down in the description for you. And those translations in documentaries where one voice talks over the original voice to translate what they're saying, which is actually extremely hard to do. Like, seriously, it is really, really hard to do.
I can imagine you probably have to enunciate really carefully with that stuff, right?
Yeah, because in the way it's done, you have to start like 1 second after the person you're translating started talking, and you have to end a few seconds before they stop, which is really hard to do.
Really?
Yeah. This translation thing that I talk about here is fully true, and in the end it would sound something like this. Ein gutes Beispiel. A good example for the translation in the style is very hard to replicate, as you start a second after the start of the sentence and end before the end, all while listening to the original audio. Before I started to talk about NDAs and we devolved into animation, I can actually talk about OT because Mardus gave me the okay. And I even asked him before we started recording this podcast again for if I am allowed to talk about it here. And he said, yes, definitely. So yeah, I voice one of the parental figures of one of the main characters, which will be fun because I will have to talk in a language that I do not speak. Online Together definitely is a show that I think will be absolutely amazing. But I better let my artist, the actual creator of this show, talk about it. And that's why I brought him on just for this video, for this part, so he can talk about his show himself. Take it away, Jay.
Is it on? Okay. Online Together is an animated pilot about 4 friends. Based on my own friend group, it's more of a slice-of-life comedy type, if you can class my friends as funny. The reason I wanted to make it is because of my friends. Growing up, we had different struggles in our lives, but talking to each other and spending time together really helped us get through that. Being able to make something that can help others, even if it's just a dumb animated show, is something I could only dream about. But with the help of volunteers like Pyro and others, whether it's voice actors, or helping with the animation side of production, or even supporting through Ko-fi, I don't think it will be a dream much longer.
Get to the point. Tell them what the show is about.
Online Together follows Jay, Ryan, Karma, and DT as they figure out their dreams and futures. Each of them come from different parts of the world and have different life struggles. So you're sure to find something you can relate to, whether you're from the UK, America, Brazil, New Zealand, or even stuck in someone's basement.
The first ever lesson that I really had in these classes wasn't about voice acting or talking in general, but more about actually audio editing, because it's also a huge part of voice acting, because if the sound technician fucks it up, no amount of amazing voice acting can pull it back. Audio editing is extremely important, so a huge shout out to all amazing audio editors right here. Please teach me. I personally suck at audio editing. I am not good, as you can probably tell from my videos. I'm trying to get better. So yeah, as you can probably tell, it's also why I'm very nervous sometimes about editing my own videos, because no matter how good the raw audio recording is, if the audio editor fucks something up, the whole thing is ruined. So be kind to your audio editors. They're doing a very amazing job and I respect the hell out of them. Seriously, audio editors. You guys fucking rule. And another thing, right, which a lot of people don't actually know, is export your audio files correctly. Don't use MP4s. Do not use MP4 files for your voiceover. Use WAV files or WAV files. Or whatever it's called.
If you don't use a WAV file, Carol will come to your house and behead you. So use WAV. Ignore me.
I have
I'm still
portals.
new to voice acting. But
He has portals.
Like, all I'm saying is, like, for me, I've auditioned a few times sending waves, and then they were just like, oh, well, the wave files aren't really working. Can you send them as MP3s? And then I did that.
But then they will specifically request so. WAV files are uncompressed audio files, and thus are the best audio file that you can use. MP3s will be compressed slightly. As you can see here, the upper one is a WAV file, and the lower one is the same exact thing, just as an MP3. The MP3 is compressed with a few sounds cut out so that it still sounds roughly the same, but it's not exactly the same. WAV files, meanwhile, leave in everything, which is why you should use WAV files.
Bausteine, okay.
Why is your German so good? That really jump scared me for a second.
I studied German for a year, so...
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like tempted to repeat it back, and I'm like, I'm gonna butcher this. And then Pyro did it, and I went,
Pyro just
holy shit.
pulls it off perfectly. Also,
Frozen natural.
also, Pyro, you've just opened the veil of me. I will ask you to say a dialect word. I do not expect you to get it right, but it's a joke here in Austria and Tyrol, where I'm from, to have foreigners say Ohrkatzelschworf. Because it's hard to say. So please, say Ohrkatzelschworf for me.
Repeat it again.
Ohrkatzelschworf.
Ohrkatzelschworf?
Ohrkatzelschworf.
Ohrkatzelschworf? Yeah, I can't do that one.
Oh my god.
What does that one mean?
It means the tail of a squirrel.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yes, Ohrkatzelschworf
Wow.
is a squirrel tail.
Or catch a smorf. No, that's terrible. Wow.
I mean, no one is expecting you to do it perfectly. I am still very sorry for making you three do this. I just couldn't help myself but also include it here. All the context is in the episode. I am so sorry. I am so sorry I couldn't help myself. I am so sorry. There was just a time when I was so focused in on videos. So I just made like 3 to 4 videos in 1 month. The next month I made another and just kept going, and eventually just had enough videos for like 1 year already. And I'm still in
Which
this
is
time
super
period.
cool.
Yeah, but
It's so cool though that you can say that you were able to do that. Like you can get locked in like that again.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope that I can be locked in like that again soon, because like the thing is, while it was really fun to work on videos back to back to back to back, it did burn me out quite a bit. I would not recommend anyone to do what I do with my videos and just work on them in bulk, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, because it often just leads to me being burned out from it and just needing a very long break from it. I did talk about being happy if I could get back into such a grind again, but it's not healthy and I do not want to do it anymore. I'm waiting for my artist to finish an animation for a joke for the video. Yes, he will be paid for it, because good work gets paid well, and that's how I pay him.
I think I
Just
know
obviously.
exactly what work in progress animation you're talking about, and it's really good.
Yeah, I actually visited my artist to do that animation in February, and the episode released when I was in England visiting my artist, which, yeah, that was fun because I couldn't listen to it until I was back home in Austria.
I just realized
mention-
Pyro merch would be so easy. One could just be a white mug with sunglasses on it.
Like
is literally my
the
plan.
easiest
I will
merch.
I would unironically drink out of a Lord Pyromon mug. To warm up your vocal cords before recording.
Yep.
So say a tongue twister or whatever really warms it up, just talk a bit. Warming up your vocal cords or your voice is extremely important, as cold vocal cords will mess you up way more than you could ever think they could.
Frieza, I have a gift for you! Gallic gun!
Jeez, that was loud. Ow.
That was so loud.
My
Oh my
ears.
God.
Perfect.
Ow.
The
Ah.
jump scare.
Anyway.
The pyro jump scare.
This seemingly random line from Pyro was what I talked about with the exercise that I scrapped, because I said the exercise that I wanted to do with you guys was repeating the phrase "I have a gift for you" in various tones to show how simply the tone of your voice can change a sentence. So it was less random than it seems. But tone is important, as the sentence can change depending on how you say it. If you want to hire me as a voice actor, just shoot me a DM on Discord. I'm on the YTFA podcast frequently. DM me, tell me what you want, we'll discuss pricing, make it fair for you and for me. To explain further on how to hire me, DM me over Discord at RealPhotographerKuro and immediately tell me that you wish to hire me. Just say, "Hey Kuro, I'd like to hire you for a project as a voice actor." That's all I'll need to know, so I'll start responding to you. Payment will be done after we discussed your budget and made an appropriate price for the amount of lines that I will be saying and for what's in your budget. You will pay me half upfront and the other half once you have actually received your lines, to make sure that both sides are not getting scammed. Send me the payment via PayPal, as I do not wish to give out my credit card information to random strangers on the internet. And that's basically all there is. So, to summarize, we will discuss payment. You send me half of what you will pay me, as well as the deadline for when you need my recordings by. I will record them, and once you have received my recordings via email, you will pay me the other half. That's how it's going to go. If you made it to the end of the video here, leave a like. Can't have been that awful if you stuck around, right? Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Now, check out the actual podcast episode, as I only talked about some small little things, or watch my latest video if you want to check that out. But that's all the time I have for now, and with that, ciao neto, ciao, Kuro. Fuck. Warming up your voice before it's